The main quest for the winter update introduces a new area with different spawns, and this video is how to hunt the Azzilon Castle. To get access to this spawn, all you need to do is ask like for a mission in the Azzilon Magic Academy, and that will be enough. Enter the teleport and that's it. This is where you start the quest of No Rest for the Wicked, but the spawn of this video is on the surface, and the quest itself is mostly on the catacombs, which are locked behind a world event, where your server needs to deliver an unknown amount of demonic core essences to open the catacombs. Now keep in mind this hunt was done on the first day of the update, but it seems promising enough as it is to make a video about it. However, there is the likely chance that the creatures will get changes at some point, so keep that in mind. XP and profit wise is not bad in my opinion, but the damage is a bit low at the moment. With that said, defensively you want to stack up on physical and death, with a bit of fire if possible. Offensively they are weak to ice, so gear up accordingly to that. They are also weak to energy, with a bit less than ice, but probably not enough to use thunderstorms on the MS even with the runic mastery. For the wheels, go with AoE focus. Most of the pulls were big in density with everyone tanking. In the case of the druid, it's recommended to go with the mass rest tier 2 and some points for twin bursts if possible. Sorcerer go with buffs on energy wave and UE. Possibly put some points for beam mastery to lower off the cooldown of the wave and UE. Lastly, for the way we were hunting, I would recommend at least around the level 800s. The reason is because some pulls we were doing had a lot of creatures, but this spawn can definitely be hunted easier and with more controlled pulls. Perhaps take this as reference and see what changes you can make for your team. With that said, let's start with the lab. The first pull is by the entrance to the castle. In the actual lab we come from above, but starting off the hunt you can do it the same way. Here the goal will be to lure from the sides. Creatures from the north usually come on their own, and for the south there is only 2 to 3 that usually spawn near the walls, that I will be the one luring as the EK. RP will do the tanking while I did that. The roles should be changed, but it's likely the same result. After this pull, the MS or RP should go east and lure from that side. Then ED lures from the left side of the castle. EK goes through the middle of it, and DMS or RP lure from the right. The right side should have 2 people luring. The one that went there from the first pull lures the ones inside the walls, and the other, in this recording that's me, will be luring the ones closer to the castle. That way they wouldn't be there by the time the other comes with his lure. We were doing this pull in particular with other vocations doing the lures I recommended, but it's likely the best way to do it this way instead based off the amount of creatures. Also keep in mind, because of our level and the current difficulty of the monsters, we were able to basically sidebox near each other, with everyone tanking creatures. If this seems difficult, you can aim for a trap style with 3 walls on the sides by the castle wall. Or optionally break the pull in 2 with a pull similar to the first one on the right side, and then another one in the same spot shown before. This time it will have less creatures and should be more manageable. Next up we will go upstairs on the middle area. By splitting in the towers, it will naturally bring all the creatures meeting by the south, and ends up being a quick pull to set up. Then after that go down 2 floors, splitting up on the towers again. 2 people northwest and 2 southeast. For the south, 1 person lures the creatures near the opening, and the other goes a bit further to lure 3 from the sides and the ones left behind. I will be the one doing that normally, and it does take the longest to do. And if your druid is the weakest of the team, then he should be doing this lure instead, because in our case, he was grabbing most of the lure and then boxing by the middle before I will even get there. Meanwhile, MS and RP are splitting up their lure to the north side, doing it pretty much the same way. Whoever got down first will have aggro of most creatures, and then the other brings what's left behind, with everyone meeting up in the middle for yet again another big pull. Lower levels could split this up in 2 pulls, but at that point you probably only will do 1 instead or skip this floor. Next up, split up with RP and ED going southeast, with EK and MS taking southwest. For this, it makes it easier if you trap some creatures behind the door on the underground and the floor above, but you can also leave them and attack them once running through. EK and ED go up twice and then lure creatures from each side, meeting up in the middle and doing this pull as a duo. Meanwhile, RP and MS are doing the same upstairs. We did start off doing these floors together at the start, but we opted for splitting up instead. However, lower levels might want to stick together. It will depend entirely on your mage's level, just like most of this hunt is. Then after this pull is dead, go down the stairs close by and you will be back to the first pull. In this one I will levitate down from the bridge instead, to get the ones on the south easier, but this left me outside the box of creatures and not being able to attack, so in reality this should be done by the RP instead. Optionally, in our case, we were slightly overkilling with this lab, even without charms, so we will add a pool downstairs by the entrance of the castle. This is not an ideal pool, but it will be the best to add if overkilling happens. Hunted like this, we were on average a lower 10kk raw, probably can do much higher than that without overkilling, but with soul cores and charms it can get over the 11kk. Additionally, in terms of profit, it was sitting at around 500k per person the hour, and around 60 to 80 demonic core essences, which will be the main goal of hunting this spawn, since 100 of those are required to continue the quest line. Lastly, please remember this is an early hunt and it could get nerfs or buffs at some point. If anything worth addressing happens, I'll be leaving a pinned comment. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to the supporters of the channel, The Guild Causality, Night Star, and Tuna Hero.